Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Nam Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. So you should congratulate yourself, because not everybody who knows spiritual practice, and not everybody who knows spiritual practice can spend time to practice, because each of us has our own concern, our own work and worries. But we know how to take care of ourselves by being here and practice the way of love and understanding. So we should be proud of ourselves for doing so, because we spend most of our time thinking or doing things that will eventually be left behind when we leave this world. Now we are actually doing things that we can take with us when we leave the world. So that is an fortunate thing that we should be proud. So mindfulness is the heart of practice. The function of the heart, we all know that is it pumping the blood, throughout the body to make us, live, to keep us alive. If the heart is tired and it doesn't want to work anymore, then we die. Similarly, mindfulness is how we live. Without mindfulness, we just survive. So we have mindfulness as the heart of our practice. Then we also have right concentration, right view as the brain of our practice, and right action, right livelihood, and right speech as our body. So we have the whole package, and the right effort is actually the core, the driving force for us. So we have the whole 8 noble path for the spiritual body. Because having only right mindfulness isn't enough. We need the whole system to work together to get us to the other shore. Mindfulness is the awareness of the present moment, to remember, to keep an eye on yourself, that you are here, not someone in the past or something will be in the future, right here in this very moment. That is mindfulness. Because we have a tendency to think about what has happened and what will happen. we rarely be in the present moment. Also to remember that being in the present moment doesn't mean you don't know anything around you. You are aware of your body, and also you are aware of your surrounding. That is how right mindfulness is. There's a kind of wrong mindfulness. A thief is also very mindful of his action. He is aware of people around him, or things that he wanted to take. So he is very mindful, but his kind of mindfulness is wrong. Our mindfulness is be aware of our body, our thinking, but we also try to be aware of other people around surrounding environment, and also guided by moral conduct. So that is right mindfulness. So much thinking. When you shut your eyes, when you try to meditate, you can see that the stream of thoughts constantly appearing and then leading you to another place. That's why people are afraid and are bored of meditation. That's why they don't want to do it, because it's a mess inside. When you are familiar with your wandering mind and befriend with your thoughts and what is happening inside your mind, you will be more interested in meditation, because the fact that you have made friend with yourself, and you are not afraid to look inside anymore, because now we all are very busy looking outwardly. We are very busy doing things outside that we can see and familiar. But then the more important thing is what is happening inside of us, and that can determine our action, our behavior. So we try to look inwardly, using mindfulness to be familiar with our thought, and that is the first step to enter the path of wisdom, the very first step. Otherwise, if you don't get familiar with yourself, your thinking, when you have negative emotions, and it will destroy you. It will make you suffer a lot. So better now, get familiar with your thought thinking by using the power, the energy of mindfulness. It's just like you are observing something happening without being attached, without being bowed by your thought and your thinking. So there is a Zen student coming from far away to ask a Zen teacher. He asked, "Dear teacher, can you teach me the highest liberating Dharma, the most important transformative practice that you know?" The teacher looked at him compassionately and asked, "Oh, you have just arrived? Have you eaten breakfast?" The student was kind of surprised by the question, because he wanted to learn about the Dharma, not some ordinary breakfast. just teach me the Dhamma, please. But he didn't say that. He was thinking for himself. But then he said, yes, I have. I ate breakfast. And the teacher say, yes, if you have had your breakfast, then go wash your bowl. And suddenly the student became enlightened. So for many of us, having breakfast and washing our dish is very boring and ordinary thing to do. But that can also be an act of liberation, an act of transformation. If we put our mindfulness in it, every ordinary act is an act of transformation. Let's examine our life. We wake up in hurry, then we have breakfast in hurry, and then we rush out of the house to beat the traffic to get to work. Those boring actions, activities can be transformed into mindful action, mindful activities, and that it can help us in our practice. So let's just think about our seemingly ordinary daily activities and how we can use those ordinary activities to strengthen our spiritual body. That is a contemplation, a reflection for you. So don't wait till the end of the day of practice to be happy, to taste the transformation in you. Be transformative. Be happy right now. It is a great opportunity for each of us to taste the fruits of practice right in this moment. Don't wait. If you wait, then you miss it. The transformation is not a destination. It is the path. It is what you are experiencing on the path of practice, using the power, the light, the energy of mindfulness. So Anuruddha was one of the important disciples of the Buddha, and he was asked by people from different religions about the existence of the Buddha after he dies. So there are four statements regarding the question. The first one, the Buddha exists after death, or the Buddha does not exist after death. The third one, the Buddha both exists and does not exist after death. And the last one, the Buddha neither exists nor does not exist after death. Which one is true to the Buddha? And Anuruddha said, none of those apply to the Buddha after he dies. And those ascetics said that this monk may be new. He didn't know the answer. He just say some stupid stuff. So let's go. And Anuruddha went to the Buddha, presented the four statements to the Buddha, and the Buddha said that your answer is good because none of those apply to me. I am here right now, the Buddha said. Can you find me? Can you meet me here? Can you see me here? Let alone when I'm, gone? So the question we can ask about our own existence: are we here? Can we find ourselves here, let alone trying to understand where and what we will become after we die? So this question is very important for our practice, regardless of what tradition you are following. Pure Land, Zen, it doesn't matter. As Pure Land practitioners, we recite the Buddha's name in order to be reborn in the Pure Land. That is the ideal of our practice. But then we have to ask ourselves, there are two kinds of Buddha. Right in this life, we have to be in touch with. We have to see, we have to meet first while we're still here. The first one is the Amitabha Buddha that is described in the Amitabha Sutra. And the second one is the Buddha in us, in our mind. Have we met that Buddha yet? If we haven't, we're still far away. If we have met, then you're all set. You're all good. The question whether you will be born in the Pure Land doesn't apply to you anymore, because you are already there. So having only mindfulness is not enough. We have to have a second thing, which is right view and right concentration. Right view is how you react to the things that happen to you. So each of us, the Buddha said, will be shot at by two arrows. The first one is, being human sucks, like being human and suffering, and being born, become old, get sick, and die, or suffering. And that is the first arrow. Nobody can avoid the first one. But the second one is how you react to that. How you react to the suffering that is already there is the second arrow. And you can avoid that by, using your right view and right concentration to avoid that second arrow. So the people with mindfulness that give rise to right view and right concentration, they behave differently. They behave in consideration to other people with compassion. For us, we behave, selfishly sometimes, but people with right view and right concentration, they act with a expanding view. They consider every angle of a situation. And that is the great combination between right concentration, right view, and right mindfulness. Let me tell you a small story, okay? So there's a little girl who was playing around, catching butterfly, and she saw a monk who carries a bundle of wood, and she wagered with the monk, asking him if he knows what she is holding in her hand, and if the monk loses, he will have to give her the bundle of wood, right? So the monk say yes, and the girls ask, what is inside my hand? And the monk say, oh, inside your hand is a dead butterfly. And then the girl laugh and say, no, the butterfly is still alive. And then she released the butterfly. And you know who wins? The little girl wins, right? So the monk has to give up his bundle of wood to the little girl. And she happily carries the wood back to his father. And saying that, are you proud of me, Daddy? Because I win. The monk lost and I won, right? And then his father said, no, you didn't win. He let you win. Why? Because if he said there's an alive butterfly in your hand, then you will squeeze it. You will kill it to win the bundle of wood. So instead of saying that, he said a dead butterfly, so that you will release and you wouldn't commit the acts of killing the butterfly. That's why he let you win. He was compassionate toward the butterfly. So he acted compassionately, right? And the girl learned her lesson, and she went out to play again. So that is how you act with, wisdom, stemming from the very first thing that we talk about, which is right mindfulness. So the last thing I want to share is that with the help of right mindfulness, you have right action, right speech, and right livelihood. Right? So those three things are guided by mindfulness and then wisdom. In order to have the right action, right speech, and right livelihood, you need to have right mindfulness for sure. And a story of two monks, walking back to the temple, and they saw a girl waiting near the river to cross the river, but she cannot cross the river. So the first monk, the older brother monk, asked her if she could carry her across the river. And the second one was not happy about that, because as monks we shouldn't be close to woman. But then the elder monk, carried the girl and put her down next on the other shore of the river, and they both walk back to the temple. Then the younger monk, keep complaining about, why did you do that? It's not right for monks to do that. But at the gate of the temple, the elder monk said, I already put her down at the side of the river. Why are you still carrying her here in your mind? This is maybe very deep for Amiya, but so we shouldn't carry, maybe our action should be carried out by wisdom and compassion, guided by the first thing is right mindfulness, because it is hard living a life and dealing with all stuff that we have been dealing with wisdom and compassion, but everything has to start somewhere. So that somewhere is right mindfulness. So my advice for you, Amir, is that every action, every small action, you do it wholeheartedly. Like when you are eating, just know that you are eating, right? When you're making your piggy bank, know that you're making your piggy bank. When you sit, just know that you're sitting. That's it. It's easy, simple, right? When you listen to your mom or your dad, just listen to them attentively. And that is where you start. And that is how you become a better version of yourself every day.